Well, guys, a company called Auto sent me one of their e-bikes. It's called the Flux X20. It's called the Flux X26 Pro. The bike weighs about 100 pounds, and I know I look like an absolute freaking unit, but guys, taking this in and out of the van during trips can get kind of annoying. Don't worry, this isn't a review video. Instead, today we're going to be making a pretty sweet machine that complements this bike. All right, so here's the plan. I want to be able to design a mechanism that just slides right into our hitch receiver, and then you just plug it into 12 volts and you're done. The biggest design constraint is I need to be able to open and close these doors, which only gives me about 5 inches of clearance from the hitch. We got these 4 lift arms that use heim joints, and then there's a cage attached to that. On the inside, we're gonna have a 2,000-pound winch, a little right angle gearbox that drives a shaft, which is connected to the arms. And maybe not most. A lot of the components I can just make here in my own shop using the plasma cutter. This mostly includes the sheet metal that is involved with the actual chassis. I'm calling this part the belt. Kind of ties the frame together, as well as has mounting holes for the gearbox. With that done, I'm gonna start on the main course. All right, now I have to fine tune all these cuts here. This guy is a 1-inch bearing, and that's gotta fit nice and snug into these holes. And in fact, I need to do 4 of them. This is the 2-inch bar that goes into the receiver of the van. And that sucker needs to fit into here. We're gonna start assembling this and welding it together. This guy goes like that. This guy goes like that. I was thinking this thing was perfect and square, which it kind of was. I welded that in upside down. All right, I think that's ready to re-weld. These are the actual lift arms, and these are going to be lifting the carriage up and down. And these were actually laser cut from Send Cut Send, mostly because of this little profile in the middle. And the other parts are these little guys. These are the hubs that the arms will connect to, and these are actually 3D printed out of stainless steel. And these were from JLC 3DP, which really came in clutch for this build. Be sure to check them out in the description below. The shafts were what I was really dreading. I didn't have a way to properly key these, and I don't know why I did 4 keyways. So I just bought some keyed shaft that had 1 key through the middle, and then I took these to work with like a 3D printed fixture, and we were able to machine the extra keyways. All right, folks, so this is the next phase of the build, and we are making a custom gearbox. Some of this stuff is 3D printed. This is nylon. This adapter shaft thing is stainless steel, 3D printed. And then we also have rototiller parts. So this is a worm gear drive from an old, I think a 1980s rototiller. Pretty simple assembly. Throw the gears in there, a couple of spacers, the drive shaft, a cute little bearing, and then the cover goes on, and there's a little star bit that matches up with the star bit on that. Oh, nice. Should just go in with a little bit of hustle and bustle. Come on. And I quickly took it apart because I forgot to grease that puppy up. That shaft is actually able to float when it's just in the gearbox, but once it's in the whole system, it's locked in place. Well guys, I had to take a break because I discovered a big problem, and it's with this thing right here. Check it out. So the issue is these keyways aren't 100% on the same axis, slightly skewed, which causes these arms to be slightly off, and they need to be dead on. This hurt my soul to cut this in half, but I considered other things like filing the keyways or removing teeth off of that little feature in the arms, but this just seemed like the easiest way to go. You know what, I need to take a break. I've been having the most difficult time with these arms. As you can see, these aren't level. And every time I would assemble it and disassemble it, sometimes it would work and sometimes they wouldn't. And I think that's even why I cut these shafts, is because I thought these were just misaligned from the keys. I don't know if you can tell on the video, this face isn't symmetrical along this axis. So if I flip it over, then we'll be out of phase with the other arms. Funny, huh? So here's how the overall mechanism will work. It looks like a little roasted chicken. There's a chain drive that connects both shafts, and then it's kind of just a little set of A-arms. Pretty straightforward. I'm jumping around a little bit, but in this clip I have the heim joints all set up, and then I also have that front plate that I cut out. I'll be honest, I was kind of excited, but also worried that that gearbox would explode as soon as I try to use this. And those wires were way too skinny. Oh, shoot. It's working. Yes. Tickles my brain that this actually works. I am so happy with it. The next phase of the build is to make the cage that the bike actually rides into. And I'm just gonna make this all out of 1-inch tube. So it should be pretty straightforward. Oh, I need to take a whole inch off. Classic. Pretty much all I had to do next was install the actual hitch rod and then just double down and weld the absolute crap out of everything. I wired the winch straight into the battery of the van, which I already have conveniently ran to the back for all the electronics of the camper. All right, I guess what I can do is show you from start to finish actually installing this system, including the bike. So you just put the main apparatus on, throw a pin in it. Right now I'm just connecting the wires to the winch, but in the future this is just going to be a quick plug. So just pretend that took like 2 seconds of just plugging in a wire. And we grab our cage, make those nice and tight, and you get the bike. And right now I'm just using load straps, but in the future I kind of want something that just goes over the wheels on the front and back. But it's hard getting around just using a good old load strap. It's about an inch of clearance. One thing it definitely needs is some sort of safety pin mechanism to keep the load up instead of fully relying on just the gearbox. About a foot of clearance. With that being said, I still wanted to check to see how sturdy it looked going over a couple bumps. So I kind of just drove over those parking blocks a couple times. Not the most robust test in the world, but it did look pretty sturdy, which is a good sign. I did do a quick test of how much weight we could lift. I was going to lift myself, but the arrangement of my body parts in relation to the mechanism seemed sketchy. So the ATV winch I'm using is rated for 1 horsepower. I have it connected to the van through a 40 amp fuse, which means I haven't gone over 40 amps. At 1 horsepower and 12 volts, we should be seeing around 63. So I think the wire leads to the battery are a little bit too long. So if I shorten those and maybe got a dedicated battery, we could probably lift even more weight.